Cody. I'm an ex-alcoholic and a liver failure survivor. Let's talk about some words people use but don't understand the depths of what it really means. Our first word of the day is sober. Not affected by alcohol, not drunk. By that definition, are you sober? If you got a beer in your hand, you're not sober. If you had alcohol in the last 4 days, technically there's still alcohol in your system. Are you sober even though you haven't had a drink recently? These are good questions. Technically, no, you wouldn't be considered sober because you are intoxicated with something that you can't actually feel. Kind of like those traumas that you bury with more alcohol. In the same way, all of those thoughts and opinions and feelings and memories you have that you're attempting to get rid of, they are still in your system in the same way that alcohol is still actively in your bloodstream. I'll drink to that. So between 4 and 7 days after your last drink, you would actually be considered sober. That doesn't mean you're happy, and it doesn't mean you're not going to want to drink. Recently, someone said, I'm considering breaking my sobriety. And that's a really interesting way to phrase not drinking. Because most people are actually sober, but aren't practicing sobriety. Healthy people that drink at low risk, 1 to 3 drinks a day, maybe 10 drinks a week, are still considered sober because they don't have a physical problem or an emotional connection with alcohol. Wait, how can they be sober and still drinking, but you can't be sober and still drinking? What the f-? That's because you're probably drinking at high risk or practicing alcoholic behavior. So those that practice alcoholic behavior must practice sobriety because that's where the happiness comes from. Happiness isn't in alcohol. Happiness is in the absence of alcohol and the generation of joy. That's impossible if you're drinking at high risk. Impossible. You may be sober from alcohol, but you're probably not sober from toxicity. What does toxicity mean? Toxicity is the degree at which a toxin or poison can harm humans or animals. Is it possible to have toxic thoughts? Do your thoughts bring you anxiety and you have a physical response that makes you feel a certain way? Does a toxin only refer to actual physical poison or chemicals? If that's the case, what about the poisons, chemicals, and hormones that your body naturally releases? Can't you flood your system with those too? How do those release if you're not forcing them out with your thoughts? If your thoughts can bring you anxiety, then your thoughts can bring you sobriety. What is sobriety? Sobriety is the repercussion of happiness. You're not happy because you're sober. You're sober because you're happy. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds. Follow me for more.